Hi everybody, and thank you for coming tonight. I'd like to introduce myself and let you know my name is Christina Coyle, and I've known Natalie for 13 years about. I used to participate in the Mrs. America pageants with her, and she also had one of my sons as a little model for a runway one time. So thank you very much for allowing me to use your space here tonight, and thank you everybody for coming tonight. So first of all, if everybody could think about a time in their life where you've experienced a challenge that you had to overcome. And while you're thinking about that, I will let you know a little bit more about myself and why I'm here tonight. So when I was 7 years old, I started moving around every 3 years of my life, and I each time had to overcome that. Being that young of an age and having to move around, I had to learn new skills, and I had to figure out how to make new friends, and I had to learn a new place, and that was a challenge to me at such a young age, because I was away from all my close family, and I didn't know anybody, and it was something that I carry with me now, and meeting new people. And I believe that everything in life as a child, you carry that with you, and that shapes who you become as an adult. So through that moving around, I also moved to Europe for 3 years, and that was very much different than moving just a couple states away from where I had lived before. I had to learn about a new culture, I had to learn new languages, and that was a very neat experience that I also learned a lot new things with that too. And it was a lot of fun being able to experience that in my life. And then as I became an adult, we moved back, or I was 16 when we moved back to the US. And then later I met my future husband when we lived in Minot together. And from there, we got married and we moved to Fargo. And so with that, I had to learn some new things about becoming a parent, because I was away from my family and we were away from his family, and we knew hardly anybody here. So we had to raise our kids not knowing anybody and just learning different things about parenthood together alone pretty much. And that was something difficult, that we didn't know what we were doing, and we met some friends along the way, and that's helped us get to where we are today with our kids. And then a few years ago, we found out that 2 of our boys are not neurotypical. We have had a lot of challenges with those boys, trying to figure out who they are, where they're coming from, how we can help them to be the best they can be. And so with that, I also learned a lot with that, and I'm carrying those things with me. And I decided that since I didn't know anything about this, that I wanted to go to school for child psychology, to be able to share my experiences as a parent with other parents, and also to be able to help their kids, so I can say, I know where you are right now, and just feeling so desperate to find out what's going on with your children, to not understand where the next step is with them, and just to be able to be that shoulder or that ear for someone, which is why I chose child psychology. And so this class is part of my major for right now, and getting up in front of everybody and speaking, this is a skill that I'm learning again, because I had to do this in high school, but that was a long time ago for me now. So it's difficult. And I know everyone goes through challenges in life, and one thing that my mother-in-law always tells me, she says, well, this is just another bump in the road. you'll get there, you'll figure it out, and each time I remember one thing from each thing, and I use that. I use that to help get me through each challenge. And each day even, I have to sit and remind myself, what did I learn? What did I learn? What can I use from my past? What can I learn from just recently or just yesterday even to help me get through something? And I know that also mental health is very important, and that is a very big passion of mine, of trying to just help people. And I've always been a very people person. That was a skill I've had to learn. And it matters to me very, very much, just knowing that people go through so many things, and you can never guess what somebody's going through just by looking at them. Or you can even be very close friends and still not know everything that they're going through. I have some friends that are going through some things that I had no clue that they were going through until they started sharing with me. And I want to be a shoulder for people. And it's hard because you have your own life and you want to be there for others. And it's not easy knowing what the right things to say or how to be there for somebody else. But I just know that someday when I look back and I can understand why I'm going through everything that I am with my boys right now, just to be able to help somebody else in the future. And I always think of my favorite movie, Back to the Future, and how I wish we can go to the past to discover these things that we had go wrong in our lives, or maybe it was a good thing too, that we could use that moment in time or go back and figure out a good or a positive way to carry that, or to maybe even go back to help correct some things. And since we can't do that in real life, that's what I feel connecting with child psychology would be able to do. You metaphorically, or talk to the children, and you kind of figure out where in their lives something that wasn't very good for them happened, and you help them work through those things. And that's very important to me. And one thing that I learned from a lot of this is that life, you never stop learning. You can keep going and you can figure out one thing and then something else happens. And I just very much believe that everything that happens to you or around you, or all of your experiences, shape who you're meant to be. And going through all these things with my boys, I feel is putting me on the path of where I'm supposed to be, with helping other families, helping other kids through what they might be dealing with. And I just know that that life is very full of so many challenges, and that another thing that my mother-in-law always tells me is, she says, remember, this too shall pass. Every moment that I feel is crushing and I'm just crying and I feel that how am I going to get through this? And she reminds me, you've got through other things before. You can get through this too. And it may be hard, and that's why I know reaching out and connecting with community or family is very important also. So thank you everybody for listening to me tonight.